Hello everyone, I'm Krasi Attasio, and this is my monthly prognosis for the month of October. I will talk day by day what to expect from the sky, what the planetary influences will be, how to benefit from this knowledge, like what are the most appropriate activities during the month of October, and also what to avoid. I also have my weekly videos and also daily. So whatever you like to look at, you may. Under this video are my contacts. Also, if you like to study with us, you can also see the link to my astrological school. So what is happening? I will first give you my overview to tell you in general what is happening on the sky, and then I will talk day by day. So what is happening on the sky this month, October? First, very important thing is that Pluto is stationary until 13th of October. And so Pluto is stationary from 1st to 13th of October and will become direct. So the good news is that he finally will become direct. And Pluto, of course, is very important planet. And even though I am using sidereal coordinates and sidereal astrology of the ancients, we still cannot ignore the planets that are known to exist, the trans-Saturnian planets, Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune. And the ancients, by the way, in Babylon knew about their existence. Of course, Pluto is important because he works on our collective consciousness, and also because he is ruling the sign where Jupiter is, because Jupiter is in Scorpio and Pluto is in Sagittarius, and this way they are forming reception for a very long time already, and this way Pluto is very much influencing also Jupiter. How is this influencing us? Of course, our belief system, our value systems, our philosophical beliefs, our knowledge, the way we judge things, in general, our philosophical beliefs. So this is how on collective level the stationary phase of Pluto right now is influencing us. Like it may be a little bit stuck. We may be a little bit stuck. Saturn is with Pluto, Ketu is also conjunct Pluto, and this will be felt the most from people, of course, who have Sagittarius ascendants or Moon, Sun, Midheaven in Sagittarius or in Gemini. Also, the square that the planets are forming in people who have Pisces, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Virgo will also feel these influences. They may be a little bit stuck. After 13th, when Pluto becomes direct, of course, this will be much better felt, and our studies, our spiritual work, philosophical belief system will feel better, and will feel on the right path and better oriented. Now, also what is very important is that this month, Venus is becoming visible. Now, for some parts of the world, like India, Australia, Venus is already visible, became visible in Virgo. For other parts, like in America, Venus will become visible in the last degrees of Virgo. For Europe, in most parts of the world, especially the more northern part of Western Europe, Venus is becoming visible in Libra. So the signs Virgo, Libra, according to the geographical coordinates, will be blessed by the appearance of the visible Venus, because then she is born as an evening star. This will be fine for our finances, better, and also will bring better joy and results when it comes also to our private lives. Now, also very important is that Mars is still invisible, and with this indirectly, but also he's aspecting Jupiter in Scorpio, but indirectly he's influencing Jupiter because Jupiter is in the sign ruled by Mars and Pluto. So Mars is still invisible, and Jupiter is influenced by both, by Mars and by Pluto, both in phases. Mars invisible, Pluto in stationary phase until 13th of October. So this way, Jupiter is having a bit different nature. He cannot denote his full blessing. He's more into secretive, philosophies, not so much into those open, easygoing knowledge. So with the appearance of Mars, with the direct motion of Pluto, a lot of truths will come out. So this will be for good. And another important thing is that the first lunar crescent for this month will be seen on the 30th of September in the sign of Libra. Again, Venus is emphasized on. Beautiful. Venus will become visible this month for most parts of the world, and also in Libra as an evening star, and also the moon emphasizes on Venus tremendously because it appears for the first time in the sign of Libra. Beautiful for people who are influenced by Venus, who have powerful Venus in their horoscopes, who have Libra rising, who have Aries ascendants or Aries descendants, or moon in Libra. They will feel this beautifully. Either they will feel very much attracted to do their artistic work, or if they lost their muse for quite some time, now they will feel that they have it again. So it will be a very, very positive event. Don't forget to watch Venus in October. I am not naming dates, but I named date in my video on Venus that you can find on my channel that I made like a week ago. So look at Venus in the evening star when she will be Aphrodite, when she will be Inanna from Uruk, and she's about romance, she's about beauty, she's about money, she's about, yes, it's a very beautiful appearance, very good for the women especially. So this was my brief overview, and let's see now what is happening day by day. So what is happening on the 1st of October? This is the second lunar day, and the moon is in Libra still, in the powerful star of artistic qualities, of performance, of design, of performing your work, be it engineering work or design. So you may use this particular placement of the moon for performing your routine activities for good. Also, the day is appropriate to travel, to negotiate for beauty procedures, and for creative work in particular. New beginnings, you may, but only if in your part of the world Venus is already visible. Okay, so yes, for beauty procedures, you may travel, you may. New beginnings, as I said, you may. Okay, now 2nd of October, third lunar day. The moon is in the knowledge degrees of Hermes. Wonderful for knowledge-based work, for studies, for sharing your knowledge, for enhancing your intuition and your spiritual qualities, for example, sharing knowledge. You may travel, you may negotiate. New beginnings are not very appropriate on this particular day. Surgical interventions, not. Beauty procedures, not. 3rd of October, fourth lunar day. The moon is conjunct Jupiter, which is beautiful, but also a bit complex. I explained already the complex phases of Mars and Pluto, who are ruling Scorpio, where the moon is, but still this can be very good for your routine work, very creative. It can be very good for knowledge, for studying, but for spiritual work, not for new beginnings, not for surgical interventions, for helping others, for empathic work. Beautiful, and you will be rewarded. 4th of October, fifth lunar day. The moon is in the point of the winter solstice, very powerful for spiritual work, for teaching others, not appropriate to travel, not so appropriate to negotiate, and not appropriate for surgical interventions. To maintain your routine work, to study, share your knowledge can be very appropriate. 5th of October, pretty much the same things, but a bit more. Be particularly careful because the moon is forming in this harmonious aspect with the sun and the moon is also in the nebula of Sagittarius, and with Saturn. Wonderful for knowledge, for sharing your knowledge, not so much, but for studying, for getting deep into spiritual knowledge and for enhancing your intuition. The day can be wonderful. Be careful when traveling, I would avoid, and be careful when negotiating. Surgical interventions, absolutely not appropriate. 6th of October, 7th lunar day, the moon has no course, void of course. Moon would say that during this day, we will not be rewarded with the results from our activities. It's like we can't, the day is not very beneficial. It's not harmful, but it's not also very beneficial. So be careful. Don't get involved into risky situations. The day is not appropriate for new beginnings. Absolutely not. Neither for surgical interventions, also not to travel or negotiate. For your routine work, it's okay, but just maintain your work with discipline and really good planning. 7th of October, 8th lunar day, the moon is in powerful degrees of Capricorn, very much associated with clairvoyance, but also Saturn. These are degrees about structure and organizing your deals. They're not appropriate for new beginnings. Some health interventions you may do, if not invasive and if not associated with teeth or bones or skin. But still, you can travel on this day, but negotiate you can. You may do spiritual work, you may enhance your intuition or clairvoyant talents if you have. So the day is very interesting. And then 8th of October, 9th lunar day, very similar, I would say. You may travel carefully, you may negotiate, you may do medical interventions, if not invasive and if not associated to the organs that I mentioned, like bones, skin, teeth. Yes, new beginnings you may not do on this particular day. 8th of October, 10th lunar day, the moon is in the powerful degrees of the star of the spiritual guru. And this is exactly what we may do. Enhance our spiritual knowledge, intuition. You may travel, you may negotiate, medical interventions you may do, if not very, really invasive. The day is quite good, especially for enhancing your spiritual talents. Then we have in 10th of October, 11th lunar day. The moon is in a sacred degrees that are also very spiritual degrees. They are very much about priesthood. They are very much about magic. They are about healing. So yes, benefit the same this way. Medical interventions are allowed. Travel is allowed. To negotiate, you may. New beginnings, yes, you may. And then we have in 11th of October, 12th lunar day. The moon is void of course. When the moon has no course, we said it already, be careful what you do. You may not be rewarded with the results that you want. So during this day, just maintain your routine work. No surgical interventions. I would not negotiate. I would also avoid traveling if it's for something important. For pleasure, you may. So this is about 11th of October. 12th of October, the moon is afflicted. Careful when traveling, careful when negotiating, no surgical interventions. Also the day before, I would not really, only if they're not invasive. For the 11th and for the 12th, absolutely no surgical interventions. Negotiations and travel, yes, better wait. No medical procedures and no new initiatives. And then 13th of October, 14th lunar day, we're having the full moon day. And for Europe, already Venus is becoming visible. This is so brilliant. And on this particular day, it's different for different people. Some people are very, very emotional, too emotional, and have hard difficult experiences during the full moon. Others are very, very productive in their work. So depends how you feel, but I see this as a good day for spiritual work, for empathic work, helping others, enhancing your intuition can be very powerful actually. Also, the moon is in the place of exaltation of Venus, and Venus becomes visible. Beauty work, creative work you may do. Be careful when traveling because Mars is still influencing, Saturn is influencing. Surgical interventions, definitely not. And then we have, excuse me. So this was about, 13th of October is the full moon day, is 13th of October. And then we're having the 14th of October when the moon is in the first degrees of Taurus, when the head of Taurus is, so this can be, and interesting, it can be associated with ambition, with strategic planning, especially strategic because Mars is invisible, can be also about some surprises and impulsiveness. Therefore, we need to be a bit careful during this day. Surgical interventions, we may, if not invasive, but because Mars can be a bit surprising, but still, if needed, we may perform surgical interventions on this day. We may travel, we may negotiate, new beginnings are not appropriate. Okay. And now we are having the 15th of October, 16th lunar day of the waning moon already. And the moon is in parts of Aries which are not very productive. They are actually a bit risky. So during this day, it's good to avoid travel, surgical interventions, and negotiations. So be a bit careful, just do your routine work. The day can be good exactly for this, like do what you need in your routine business, but avoid important decisions even, or travel or negotiations. Yes. Also on this day, it's good to you just to be aware not to get involved into any risks. And then we are having 16th of October, it is a day already when the moon is exactly conjoining Algol, the star of the Medusa Gorgon, when I will be making protective Medusa Algol amulets. But also this day can be very good for enhancing intuition, for spiritual work, can be good to maintain your routine business for good. During this day, you may do surgical interventions, you may travel, and you may negotiate. 17th of October, the moon is conjoined Aldebaran, the most powerful star of luck and wealth, appropriate, as I said in my other video, for creating of the wealth astrological talismans, wonderful for maintaining your financial status, but not for new beginnings so much this day, but actually depends on the activity. The day can be, it's very potent. The moon conjoined Aldebaran is very potent in relation to money and good luck, so you may have a very good financial day. So concentrate on your activities on making money. You may negotiate, you may travel, and also you may do surgeries on the 17th of October. And then we have an 18th of October, 19 lunar day. The moon is conjoined Capella. It's another star of money. So it's very good to maintain your financial status, to do your business, surgical interventions you may do, beauty practices you may do also for 17th and also for 18th of October. Routine business, your routine business can be very successful on this particular day. You may travel and you may negotiate as well. And then we have in 19th of October, 20th lunar day, when the moon is conjoined, very interesting point of knowledge and spirituality. So this is how you may benefit from the day. Still don't get involved into risky situation because there is a big square formed on the sky at this particular moment. So on this day, remember, 19th of October, be careful not to get involved. If you have to negotiate, postpone it. If you have to travel, postpone it up until wait for 2 days. Not on the 20th, also not. 19th and 20th are days that are a little bit tricky to travel, to negotiate. No surgical interventions, no new beginnings on these days. This is about 19th. It is also about 20th of October. 2 days to be careful. Yes, it's quite big, very tense square formed on the sky. So we need to be alert to stay away from risks on the 19th and the 20th of October. Absolutely no surgical interventions. And then we have in 21st of October a bit better. The moon is in her own sign, in Cancer, good for, not good for surgical interventions, but good for creative work, enhancing your spirituality and intuition, helping others, rearranging your home, completing home renovation. Oh, this is very fine. You may do medical procedures, but not invasive, not involving any knife, for example, or yes, if not invasive, you may still do. This is about 21st, 22nd, similar thing. 21st and 22nd of October you may rearrange your home, complete your plans, enhance your spiritual work, intuition, travel. You may negotiate, you may do psychological work as well. 23rd of October, the moon is in a very beautiful, powerful position, conjoined the star, which is in the heart of the lion, a royal star, beautiful for courage. And then at that point, the moon is also forming a harmonious aspect already with the sun and Venus. And this is beautiful. This is very nice for maintaining your routine work, for completing important tasks, for negotiations, when you have to stand up for yourself and defend your rights, for example. This is about 23rd of October. Beauty procedures you may do. Who is the most beautiful? This is the sun. Also, you may travel, you may negotiate. The day is really very, very beautiful, but you may not do new beginnings on this day. Surgical interventions, you may. 24th of October, also very good day for travel, negotiations, surgical interventions, beauty procedures. 25th of October, the moon is in degrees of knowledge, sharing your knowledge, studying, spiritual work. You may do surgical interventions on this day. You may travel, you may negotiate, you may do creative work, teach others. New beginnings, not. 26th of October, be careful. The moon is in exact conjunction with Mars during this day. It's not very appropriate to travel nor to negotiate. Surgical interventions, not. It's good just to complete your routine work without being involved in any troubles. This is about 26th of October. 27th of October, we have the invisible moon. 27, 28, the moon is hiding in the rays of the sun, descending into the netherworld, not supporting any of our activities. Therefore, it's good not to do any important activities. Just in the ancient times, the ancients would spend time really in the temple, would contemplate, would pray, would meditate. Such days are not appropriate even to travel. Even can be dangerous to a degree, not to negotiate. So this is about 27, 28. And then we have in the first lunar crescent appearing in the sign of Scorpio, conjoined with Mercury, conjoined with Jupiter, on October 29th. This is nice. This way, the sign of Scorpio is emphasized on. Pluto is already direct, but Mars is still invisible. So it can be about deep, hidden knowledge, secrets. It can be about esoteric occultistic studies and sciences. And the moon appears together with Venus in degrees about knowledge. So it can be beautiful, can be about healing, can be about giving healing to others, enhancing your healing capabilities, knowledge. Yes, and this is happening in the sign of Scorpio. The day may not be very appropriate for new beginnings because the ruler of Scorpio is invisible, but can be very appropriate for knowledge, for helping others, for enhancing your knowledge. You may travel, you may negotiate on this day. Surgical interventions you may not do. 30th of October, the moon is conjoined Royal Star Antares, the star of the army leader, let's say. Antares, Martian star, good for enhancing like your courage, powers, like if you have to negotiate and emphasize on your leadership powers, this can be the day, 30th of October. Also 31st not, 30th of October. You may not do surgical interventions, you may negotiate exactly for the purposes that I just told you, and you may travel. And then 31st of October, the moon has no course. As such, she's not very potent, she's not very useful, but still, she's conjoined interesting star, again, of healers, of doctors, of chirurgs, if you want. So they can benefit from this placement of the moon. But apart from that, it's not very appropriate for traveling and for negotiation and for new beginnings. So I hope this was useful. Thank you for your attention and see you in November.